What's up, guys? It's me, Random Randy. I just want to go ahead and thank you for tuning in and watching this part 3 of the doghouse build, or the doghouse mansion build, whatever you want to call it. Here you'll see I'm starting to lay out the first rafters and actually screw them down to the roof. Hey, if y'all haven't had a chance to click that like button and click that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. That'll help me out a lot, and it'll get some more views for this video. Here with these rafters, I just ran the screws all the way through the 2x4 and actually drove them down into the 2x4, maybe a half an inch, 3/4 of an inch, enough for it to go down and hit in the bird's mouth and actually attach it to the roof. When we laid these out, we started with the center, and then we did 2-foot centers from there out, so the outer two are actually less than 2 foot. On a side note, I didn't know this, but if you get 2 rafters, they're called a couple. So here we're about finished with the outer. Here's where I screwed each rafter together, or the couple, I screwed them together, and then I screwed them from each side into the main beam. There's Scratch. He's always got to make a guest appearance. Here I recruited my wife to help me test out the removable roof. Here we just took it off and then we brought it right back and set it on. Just checking to make sure it would be easy to remove and replace when we clean the doghouse. Everything lined up good. The roof slid in place. Here we actually removed the roof so I could finish working on the base of the house, or the walls. There's Scratch and my daughter playing in the background. Here you can see putting on top plate. If you see the seam in the center lower part of your screen, that's what your last top plate's for. It's supposed to connect all the walls together. So if you have an end wall and a side wall or whatnot, that where there's a seam, you always overlap that with your top plate on your wall to lock everything in place. Here you can see I'm just making sure everything is square and in line before I screw this top plate down. As you can see, you just repeat that same step over and over. Each time you make sure you overlap. See that seam below that top plate? You're overlapping, so you're tying the 2 walls together, adding to the structural integrity of the building or the wall. Here we're getting the measurement for the last top plate. We finished 3 of the walls, as you can tell, and you can tell I was getting bored here. I started playing with the glue, making figure eights or whatever you'd call that pattern. Now once we screw this top plate in place, we'll be finished with the top plates, and we'll be moving on to the next part. Here we decided to test fit the roof again, just to make sure that nothing changed. And this is kind of an overall shot of the framing. Here we got another shot looking down from the main beam down through the doghouse, through the roof. Framing's pretty much done at this point. Here we are outside, test fitting some tin sheets to see exactly how many sheets I'd need and what kind of overlap I was going to need to get the length. And we ended up using 3 sheets. As you can tell, there's holes in the tin. This is all reclaimed, and it's pretty dirty. You can look there. It's all reclaimed tin from other projects, or where we may have removed some tin from another structure and just had it laying around the house. Here I'm marking 10 sheets for the siding, and I probably cut 10 for hours getting all these pieces cut out, but I won't bore y'all with all that footage. I think I put 2 or 3 clips in here of us actually cutting the tin. All I used is a 4.5-inch angle grinder with a cutoff wheel. That's about the easiest way for me to do it with the tools I have. Here we are cutting another side piece. You'll have to forgive me, once I got outside and started working, a lot of times I would forget to turn the camera on. I'd just get in work mode. Alright, as you can tell, this is one of the spots I forgot to turn the camera on. I'm almost done putting the outside sheeting on. Looks like I'm wrapping up the last wall here. Here I'm trying to find the actual dog door. You'll see me stand up and lean over the top of the wall to kind of get my alignment right. and I just run the grinder up both sides and across the top of the opening for the dog hole, or the dog entry door, and pull that piece of tin off. There we go. This is when it started looking like a doghouse again to me, when I could actually see the door. Here, my cousin James showed up, and he had just purchased himself a new drill, or a new impact, and he wanted to try it out, so he started helping me put on the battens for the tin to screw to. If you can tell, they had some stain on them. They were also reclaimed from another project. And once we got the battens all secured, you'll see here we started adding the tin roof. I will say this, I grossly underestimated the weight of this roof. It's still removable. I mean, 2 guys can remove it easily, but definitely heavier than I thought it was going to be. At the beginning of this project, the goal was to mimic our house. So if you see the house in the background, it's just a white metal building with blue trim. That was our intentions. Here you see us installing the roof for the first time. Slid on, locked in place perfectly. Here's a quick shot of the progress so far. Here I'm cutting out some finished pieces to add to the ends of the roof, and looks like there's a bee or a wasp flying around the camera. Here in a second you'll actually see where this goes, and it'll make more sense why I'm making the angled cuts. There we go. And as I stated before, you can see how dirty and all the holes in the tin. You can tell this is from a reclaimed stack of siding. Here I'm trimming it's a corner piece, I believe, but I'm trimming it to slide underneath the rafters and cover up the side plate on the removable roof. Here we just notched out where I made those marks. And once we got the piece notched out, you'll see us install it, and it actually ended up fitting perfectly. Here we have some leftover trim from our house, and I decided to trim the dog door out to get a little more professional look. Here I'm cutting the trim to length for these sides. This trim is pretty easy to install. You just pull your tin back and you slide the longer portion of the trim behind the tin, just like that. And you'll see me do it again here on the right side of the door. Just slide that behind the tin, line everything up. Once you get it lined up and get it in place, you just run a screw through the tin, and it catches the lip behind there and secures the trim in place. Next, you'll see I'll be installing the corner trim pieces that actually cover up the seam between the ends of the sheeting where the corners of the building meet. This is it right here. I just want to go ahead and thank everybody that's tuned in and watched this far. I really appreciate the view and the watch time, and don't forget to come back for the reveal of the finished doghouse. And don't forget to smash that like button if you like the video, and click that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. We'll see you next time.